in a place that this might not be the nicest campground we've ever stayed at, but it holds a nostalgia for me that goes way beyond that. This is a town I grew up in. This is OTTER CREEK Park Campground. So one of the reasons it's so nostalgic is, you know, as a kid, OTTER CREEK Park was where everybody went for their field trips. They had a big nature center. They had pet deer, the petting. They had great park, playgrounds. Just an awesome place. Tons of woods. Just an amazing park. Probably could be a state park at any point in time. Now, during the recession, there were budget constraints, and I get that. But we had Jerry Abrahamson and Steve Bashir decided that they would just close this park. So they board it up, put a gate up where nobody could get in, and basically abandoned it for at least 10 years before they reopened it with the Fish and Wildlife. So Fish and Wildlife then opened this park back up, and still never really got the campground going. As of last year, they've allowed the campground to be taken over by Meade County, which is the county this is in. This is a county I grew up in. I went to high school here until I was 21, 22 when I moved away. This was home. And again, this is a special place for me. So I see a lot of disrepair, but you remember too that this place has basically been abandoned for 20 plus years. Really not a whole lot of improvements were ever made, and a lot of stuff was just left to rot. So to see what this place looks like after only a year gives me a ton of hope of how great this campground is going to be. Now I'm going to do something a little different in this video. I'm going to talk about some improvements I'd like to see. I'd like to see the steps that they take, and this will be kind of a, you know, my way of saying, hey, Meade County, these are the things that I see your campground lacks in that would be the quickest wins. So get out there and, you know, maybe, again, just my focus, the different way I look at a campground, or things that I really like to see, and things that I think they could do without being huge budgets. And I think that's going to be important. And then as they get, you know, some more campers here and a little busier, they can kind of start to upgrade the cost side of things a little more. But all in all, this is a beautiful spot, and it deserves to be brought back. So there are a ton of primitive sites here. The ones back here, there's some people over here, got a volleyball net set up. They're playing already this morning. Bathhouse, you know, looks like it's been around for a few years, but like I said, everything has. So what to improve first is the question. So let's take a look around. We'll try and walk through. I'll stop at a place here and there and kind of point everything out. We're not going to do a drive-through like we normally do. We're going to walk to a point, and then we'll scan the campground a little bit and let you guys see it. So this is just like a primitive area. There's no water or electric back here. We'll look at the loop here. You can see there's some campers. Again, beautiful park. And definitely an older park. You can tell, you know, the gravel and things like that still are just that. But I think this is still all D-loop. These are the primitive D-loop sites. So there's D8, D6, 7. So D starts right here and comes around. And we're over here in D33. D9 through D21, it looks like, are all primitive sites. The rest of the D-loop looks to be water and electric. Yep. So we're up here at the cabin area. Looks like somebody has left an absolute mess of trash everywhere. Really nice. One of the cabins looks like it has probably should be set for destruction. The other three look like they could probably be cleaned up and pretty decent. Little pavilion up here. Again, there's a lot of age here, guys. A lot of disrepair where this thing was left just sort of left to rot for years because of shitty politicians. I'm gonna assume wildlife got into that, because hopefully there is no one who would rent cabins and leave that. You got the pirate ship down here. The swing set. Now I guess the pirate ship used to be up front. Some safety concerns. I'm gonna assume that there was kids probably that were playing around the entrance, so they've moved that down here to the back under an open old pavilion area, it looks like. So they listen whenever people say stuff, so again, I'll give little suggestions of my own. An older campground, it's going to take time to get it right, but they've definitely got a great start here. Tons of potential, because the land lays great. Tons of beautiful, absolutely mature trees. Oh, this could be such a nice place. And with a lot of money, I mean, it could be up nice next week, but you know, there's budgets to consider, and you know, they're only going to turn so much. So these down here, the sites in this area look like they have water with no electric. So there's definitely a mix of sites. There's actually several sites here. It's a large campground when you start looking into it. These are more of your, looks like tent area. Putting new electric out here, so upgrading this area. So yeah, see the upgrades already happening down here. Looks like they've got some new picnic tables. They're definitely putting effort into some spots out here, and I'm sure they're doing all the right things. Looks like this is what, G7 right here?
Boy Scout troops.
Yep, there you go.
Building the picnic tables.
Okay, so I don't like that this has a slide on the passenger side. I'm not a big fan of a passenger side slide, because, you know, there's lots of things I like to do in a campground, and being outside is the biggest part of it, personally. But because of the brand, and because I know how good these things are, I have serious camper envy on this one. Brinkley is where it's at. So there is a dump station up on top of G here. There's also one down beside D. Didn't know this one was here. It's got a little trail. Looks like there's a pavilion, maybe actually close to an exit or a way to exit right through here. But it definitely has a dump station showing up there. So didn't know that. So we're in B section right now. This is right as you come through the gate, basically. You'll drive in, look to your left, you'll see B section. And it kind of overlooks most of the campground. A couple more dump stations over here and by the D loop.
Is the dump station closed?
Yep, guess so. That one's closed, we might have to go to the other end. Sometimes you can sneak up on campers and they don't know what's going on. So many cool places to visit in this area. And I mean, I filmed a couple of them. I did not go to everywhere. Right now we're just going down by the Ohio. There's a train track you can go over in a parking area, pretty large area. This is an old boat ramp that is no longer used, and you can see there's a little graffiti on the wall. Again, this has all been kind of just abandoned and left there. And this area had been cleaned up some, so it's not as bad as it might have been at some time. But again, this isn't Meade County. This is the Fish and Wildlife that's taking care of this stuff. We'll see how this all goes. Still though, such a cool part of the world that you just kind of got to go and explore. There's some other things in the park, guys, that I skipped because honestly I didn't think I could stand to be on camera and visit them. The nature center's one. So disheartening to see that building. Such a big part of every kid who went to school in Meade County and a lot of the neighboring schools. Such a big part of our childhood, and to see it just sitting there in ruins the way it is, oh, it really hurt. It really hurt bad. I'm hopeful that the campground goes well. I really want them to succeed with it so that they can take over more of this park and restore it to what it deserves. So please check this place out. It's worth your time. There's a lot of history there. I know that somebody who's never been there may not be able to see the way it was. I remember how it is, or how it was, and I see how it is, and there's so many just flashes of what a great place this was. Let's support these guys and let's get it back. This is another nostalgic area, and this is down by the creek. So 1638 used to go a lot lower. There was a great big hill there. They flattened it out. You can see the bridge is quite a bit higher. If you look hard enough, you can still see the cones or the risers for the original bridge. But it would come down and you would literally drive right next to this place. You would take a left right there at the creek. People would be swimming. There were people there having picnics today. Just a great place, and it was overcast. I mean, it was a hint of rain possibly in the area, but there was still a good number of people there. The creek was a little muddy, probably more so than it was because we had been getting some rain, and it was definitely flowing. But again, this would be a great place to just stop and kind of get in the water and splash around and just enjoy it. still a great place, and it deserves a visit. Guys, go check this place out. Definitely worth it. So when you're visiting Otter Creek or the area, this again, we're in Brandenburg right now, which is, if you get back on 1638, leaving Otter Creek Park and you take a right, it's just a few miles down the road. If you want to go left, you can go into Muldrow, go towards Radcliffe, or go towards Louisville, but we went into Brandenburg again. That's where I'm from, so. And there are a few really, really great places you need to check out. This is one of them, Jailhouse Pizza. This is actually the old jailhouse that was there whenever the tornado tore down the courthouse that was right below it. As a matter of fact, you can still see the foundation of the courthouse. They got pictures on the wall. There's the old jail cells. I mean, I remember as a kid, this building looked like it should have been torn down. It was falling down. All brick walls. We would go up there as kids and explore it. They had haunted houses in this thing. You know, we would go upstairs. It was just, again, lots of nostalgia this weekend for me. So you gotta forgive me a little bit. I probably talk it up more than you might think. I mean, again, this stuff's all original. This was the way it is. It's been sitting there for years. I know that they've probably sandblasted and got it all working right again. You know, this thing had been graffitied and just about destroyed. You can still see the graffiti on the walls there. I mean, they left a lot of the stuff the way it was. But now they did have to do some foundation work outside. And yeah, I'm really glad that this building was saved. And added on, and you know what? The pizza there is pretty phenomenal. Now they've got a thin crust and then a regular. Everybody said stay away from the thin crust. I think it's actually a frozen crust. The other is a fresh made, and it was really good. Almost no flop. It was a crispy crust. We got the kitchen sink. My friend's got a deluxe. Both of them raved at it. If I ordered it again, the only change I would make is I would have had it well done, but that's because of my preference. The other place we got to go to is, there is one brewery right around the corner here in Brandenburg, River Forge, and I had been there before. The menu, simple, and all the food we had that night was absolutely great. The wings were great. They had beer pretzel that was just phenomenal, and I can't remember what else we had, but the two beers we had, the New England IPA they had, it was a little clearer than I would have thought New England should be, but the hazy was out. And then we went over to a place called The Shop, which is a bar. There was a band playing that night. Met a guy that went to school with for years. So yeah, it's just been a great weekend. Check these places out. Number one thing that I think you could improve in the park. Do your best to make every campsite, whether they live there year-round or they're coming for the weekend, they look the same. I understand those guys volunteer, and I understand they're working hard, and they're great guys and they deserve it. So give them a solid place that they can move their stuff without major inconvenience, but help yourself as a campground. All right, a number two thing that I kind of noticed is this campground's older, and it was set up like an older campground. We all know that. A lot of the older campgrounds didn't define campsites. Matter of fact, a lot of them just had dirt for a long time. You backed in on dirt and you camped there. Well, then later on they started putting gravel down. Well, that's great, but now rain and everything else comes through, the gravel goes all over. Next thing you know, there's gravel and there's dirt and it's all mixed together. You can't really tell where the campsites are. Define your campsites. Even if you say, all right, these 10 we're going to do this year and we're going to call them premium sites, define those campsites. Put 6x6s up. Charge $5 extra a night. whatever. Define where you park. Put a good 6x6 up, stake it in the ground, get it level, gravel on top of it so that they know exactly where the gravel starts and where it ends. Dirt's on the outside of it, they park on it, that's it. There's no question as to where the campsite starts or where they should park. They have to park in this spot. It looks so good when it's set up just right, and it doesn't detract from the natural of the campsites. This one you already know. You've got to get those dump sites in order. No reason to have sewer sites. I mean, that's not really a big deal. Full hookups are nice, but who cares? When you're looking at weekenders is what your goal is, weekend guys or people that come there for vacation, they stay for a week at a time. That's what your real goal is. So they're going to stay for 3 days. That's more than enough. They can stop, dump, and go. Full hookups are nice, but not a major deal. Not a deal breaker for anyone I've ever camped around. As long as you have water and electric, your RV guys are going to be happy. But you really need a good dump station. Now the one that I had to go to, it's on the wrong side to dump. So when you get up there, you have to back into it or back it around and turn around, dump. Your water, you don't have a spigot that you can turn on and off because it's stretched, and I get it, that area has not been cleaned up yet. 100% understand that. It's such a cool area too, little old playground and stuff. I mean, everything about this park is just awesome. So I want to see it go. But again, the dump site that we used off, the other ones had cones up. I'm assuming they were not ready or weren't working at this time. Their location in the park, not really good. Let's face it, you got dump stations in the middle of the park rather than off to the side. The ones that were off to the side when you left, I would develop those and try and get rid of the other two, or maybe even turn those into a couple full hookup sites, something like that, rather than developing that dump station in the middle. Now, if you're going to do that dump station in the middle, that's fine, but I would, at minimum, make sure it's a good concrete pad. You've got good drainage going down to it so that if there's a spill, it's not sitting in the gravel. Make sure it is absolutely the easiest cleanup you can get. Concrete, nice water hose there, spray out, possibly some privacy panels or something to kind of hide it, because it is right in the middle of the park. It's such a horrible place for it. But I personally think develop the one that's off to the end, maybe put a couple dump stations side by side out there and make that one a full hookup site and just end it. I mean, have 2 good full hookup sites right there in the middle of the park. Creek is one I will visit again, absolutely. Tons of stuff to do there at the park. Hopefully I would get into a little more hiking. I really hope that Fish and Wildlife will work with you guys to kind of make the park, the hiking, and all that kind of stuff merge together. So if there's someone camping there, automatically they can get a pass. It's not going to be, they have to go online and pay for the pass. No, I'm camping here, therefore I have a pass to do that. Keep doing what you guys are doing. You're doing the right stuff. Take what I just said as a grain of salt. I think most people would agree, but I'm not the best judge of what other people like sometimes. So guys, I'm glad you listened to me. Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this helps Otter Creek Campground become from good to great to the best, because I really want it to be. I want it to be the place that I want to go on the 4th of July. I want it to be the best campground in the state of Kentucky. Truly do. And I hope they get to take over more of it, because it truly hurt to see the nature center in the repair that it was. I know it's probably not worth saving at this point, but it'd sure be nice to have a new one there.